Let's try this again. Hello. There's somebody here. Okay. Hello, One Dark Rep. How are you doing? I was just saying the other day that like the numbers that you were giving me didn't really seem to add up. You was telling me that you were 79 kilograms at 5'5", and was it 5 foot and 10% body fat? I don't know. Like, I'm not sure if that's really possible naturally, at least not by most people, but because to have that kind of body composition at that weight is at that height, it's just kind of not very common unless you're taking something. But I don't know like how you've actually measured 10% body fat, but I know some of these measurements aren't very accurate. Just saying. But I'm glad you're doing good anyway. But I'm just wondering how you determine 10% body fat. Because a lot of people just kind of either estimate it or whatever, or they'll use some kind of dodgy measurement that can be quite inaccurate. So I come to realize it can be quite difficult to really know body fat percentage because, yeah, 5'4", that's even more like, was on the composition machine in the gym. Are you sure they're accurate though? But 5'4" is quite short actually. I mean, what's that in pounds? Like Jamie, how you doing? Because I mean, if I remember, I think it was Greg Doucette is like 5'6", and I think when he was natural, he wasn't even like above. I don't even think he was that weight when he was competing at like bodybuilding or something. Well, he was probably a little bit leaner than that, but that's like some, elite level genetics plus plus like, kind of a long time dedicated to it. So maybe you just have good genetics, I guess, if you can maintain that level of muscle mass and be that height and stuff, just like kind of or something that we don't. I don't know. Some people act like they have some secret and whatever, but there's a thing called FFMI, which is fat-free mass index. Do you know what your FFMI is? Let me put into it, actually. There'll be some calculator, FFMI calculator. Let's have a look and see what yours comes at. According to 3 years is actually like, I'd still say that's probably more like intermediate. So for you to have gained that much, I mean, I don't know, have you ever thought about competing at bodybuilding? Then again, I don't necessarily think that is a good idea because of the extreme stuff that you have to go through to do that, but sounds like you'd have the genetics to do it then. So if I put in the height of, let's say, 5'4" into this thing, and then put a weight of, how many pounds is that then? 79 kilograms. So we're going on, let's go on to metric. Well, how many, hang on a sec. No, 5'4", and then we're going to go to 79 kilograms. And then we're going to go to 10% body fat, right? And then we're going to see that it says here that it puts you in the suspicious range. And you're telling me that you've been training for 3 years. This is putting you into suspicious territory, above 26 FFMI. So what I'm saying is that these numbers seem a bit off. Either your body fat isn't 10% or something else is going on here, because according to this, it's saying suspicious, which means that, like, yeah, if you're natural, that is unlikely, but I just literally put all these numbers that you've given me. 5'4". So you tell me you're 5'4", 79 kilograms and 10% body fat. And you've only been training for 3 years. I mean, there's literally guys who've been training 10 years that do not get to that level. So I don't know. Maybe shorter guys. Is it just that shorter guys have an easier time? I don't know, but there's Jeff Nippard who's like 5'5", and I don't even think he's even got that level of FFMI as well. So he's been at it for many years, and he's this science-based lifter, whatever. But then again, the whole science-based thing, that's been called into question now because of well, it's been called into question for a while. But you got people like, hey, it's Dr. Mike, and it's like, today we're going to be looking at this person's diet and exercise. And I am the greatest expert in exercise science. I sure am. I'm sure the greatest expert in I have a PhD in exercise science. Yeah, I don't know. It's just, if you really do have those numbers, then that is impressive. Because there's guys who've worked out for 10 years and never made it to above 25 FFMI. They say that's the cutoff generally for naturals, is around 25. Let's have a look at 25 FFMI. Let's just see what it says. Highest FFMI for natural lifters. All I can do is pulse my last ticket from the machine. What you mean? So this is saying, it says most natural lifters never get close to an FFMI of 25. But it says here that most natural athletes had an FFMI under 25. These are male athletes. So basically, it says here that 26 to 27 in extreme individuals seems to be the natural limit for natural lifters. So that would put you on the very upper end of what's achievable naturally. But you're saying if you've been doing it for 3 years, then you've still got probably a good bit of gains on the table then. So it's just like, I don't know. I wonder if shorter guys can have a higher FFMI due to. I was thinking if something is like being shorter an advantage, but then again, it doesn't appear that way because, yeah, you get people like like Jeff Nippard, Greg Doucette, whatever, and it's like, yeah, there's these shorter guys, but then they only look big because they're short. They're not actually big at all. I do have Omega Genetics. All my gym buddies say that. Yeah, you should probably try and show it off more, I guess. And then people can be like, I don't know, like you could show it off more on your channel. I think if you're some really like genetic freak, then, then show it off, because, it's just, you might get somewhere with it. If you've got some like, top 1% or top 0.1% genetics, then it's like people will probably find that interesting. I don't know. What's that? D-ball. Oh yeah, that's a roid, isn't it? Yeah. My triceps were a bit. I So doing these tricep extensions yesterday, and yeah, obviously I've done something right. Feeling it a bit in my triceps. But just having a walk around. So I was looking at this like, yeah, I had to friggin' submit some YouTube, what is it, some tax info to get paid or some shit. Because they were saying that if I don't do it, then they can withhold my earnings or some shit, you know? So I was like, okay, fuck it, whatever. But I was to wait and see if the earnings are going to come through from last month. It should be between the 7th and the 12th, so hopefully it'll come through soon. But yeah, but yeah, like the genetics is going to play a part, because there's some people who are what they call hard gainers, and sometimes it can be to do with your frame or whatever, but just some people naturally have higher levels of testosterone or whatever. It's going to be easier for some people. It's going to be harder for some people, but that's no excuse not to bother at all. But then it's like you got someone like Jack's Fitness, and he's like already got on friggin' MK. It's just, what a joke. I mean, he's barely, put on any size, and he's already taking stuff. And some might say, oh, well, he needs to do that. But the thing is, his diet was shit. Like, it's like he was eating way too much protein, which is probably going to make him feel full. That's probably why he was struggling, because, like, especially for him, he doesn't need that much protein, like, to build muscle. If you're already really skinny, then, you're going to build muscle with, like, you mainly want to focus on the carbs and stuff, It's just, there's no need to be, like, shoving down all these eggs and whatever. It just isn't necessary, and it's just gonna like it's a bit crazy, so skeptical about what I'm saying when I have, yeah, I'm not saying that, like, I mean, yeah, of course you've been supportive. I was just saying that, like, the numbers seemed off is all I'm saying, like, that, because like I said, usually the cutoff is around 25. But especially when it gets to about 26, 27, that's when it starts to get a bit sus. Like the FFMI on the scale, like, it's just, yeah, but that's all I'm saying. I'm just like I said, that, maybe you just have some kind of like crazy genetics or something. But anyway, but okay, so just but yeah, there's this Jack's Fitness, and he's just it's like he doesn't know what he's doing, and it's just like, it's like the whole focus on protein can actually be counterproductive. It's just like he was eating like over 200 grams of protein a day, which just isn't necessary. Especially for him, like, it's just his body just isn't really used to that amount of protein, and I'm guessing that's probably what it is. And it's just not necessary. It's just gonna make you feel full. If he's not got the gut microbiome and all that kind of stuff to break it all down, and if he's not got all that sort of, I don't know if it's not the gut microbiome, but like, if he's not got the what is it? The what's it called? The enzymes. You have to build it up slowly. This is with like protein. You don't want to be slamming a whole bunch of protein down. Don't think so. MG5KR. So you don't want to be slamming down tons of protein when you start lifting. It's just not going to end well. It's going to make you feel full. You're going to struggle to digest it all. And yeah, you even absorb all that protein, and even if you do, it's just your body then will convert some of that into carbs anyway. So your focus should be on carbs if you're just starting on lifting, just because you can probably gain on, if you're a skinny guy at, say, 60 kilograms or whatever, you only need about just under like 100 grams of protein a day. So, you know, eating 200 plus grams of protein a day is just ridiculous. It's just, there's a lot of these gym bros out there just try and say, oh yeah, you need to slam down a whole bunch of protein, but I mean, that's probably more these roid heads that are like, yeah, they need more protein because they're getting more stimulus and they need more to get that protein synthesis because they're growing muscle faster. They're also breaking muscle more because they're able to train harder for longer and more frequently. So they're able to like recover more. So that they have to up the protein to do that. But yeah, it's just, I don't know. I mean, there are some people out there that just have a very low appetite. Real like hard gainers who just have but I don't know if he's really one. Some people were suggesting that he might have an ED or something, and they would struggle to gain size. But it's not healthy to be like that, you know. It's just oh, the flame. Oh yeah, I think so. Possibly, I don't know, but hope everyone's well anyway. There's a lot of people out there that just don't really know what they're doing, and they don't have a lot of good influences around them either. There's a lot of people just trying to take the piss out of them and just keep perpetuating it, you know? Like, they see that they're just kind of like vulnerable or whatever, and they're impressionable. And then they get them into these circles where they're just all a bunch of degenerates, basically. Because you had all them people like, what was it? You know, like, when for example, Jack's Fit got into that degenerate group, you know, with those like skanks, you know, they're all just trying to use him, and they're just laughing at him, you know. They're just, because they're all, you know, using his clout for their own agenda, but he either doesn't know what's going on, or he's just, I don't know. I hope everyone's well anyway. Got 6 people in here. Hit that like button, everybody. Thank you. So what's going on? Why is there 3 question marks and then 1 question mark and then none? What's that about? What's going on there? So yeah, just hope everyone's doing well today. So I'm gonna try and just keep getting some videos out, I think, and just try and stay consistent with it. But like I said, you know, I shouldn't like say I'm going to do something and then not follow through with it. So I was talking about this the other day, that not following through with your plans is just, it's like, it just makes you look like you're full of shit, basically. And no one's going to take you seriously when you keep saying, oh yeah, I'm going to do this and that. And then people are like, oh yeah, whatever, you know? Because then, how can they trust you, you know, if you're going to like promise to do something for someone, let's say, but then you back out, you know? So you just got to be mindful of that, really. To just kind of not really be making promises that you can't keep and stuff like that. Sticking to your word, it's really important. This is just as good as a lie, really, isn't it? Anyway, but yeah, it's just like, well, I wasn't meaning that in like a bad way. It's just like when I see numbers that seem a bit kind of almost too good to be true, then I feel the need to like say something. That's just how I am. When I see something that seems a bit of a red flag, I need to point it out. And I mean, he didn't really seem too defensive about it, but yeah. Because some people could get quite defensive if there's something like, I mean, he did say at the end, oh, about, oh, I've just been, like, what is it, like, supporting you and all that, but it's just, I still have a right to, like, question, like, people's, I'm saying that, are those numbers accurate? Because then if, say, you was, like, 15% body fat, then that would indicate a somewhat lower FFMI, which would make more sense. Still be pretty high though, but yeah, even if it was 15%, it would probably still be around 25, 26, according to the FFMI. But they use like FFMI as like a sort of kind of like to measure like your actual like muscle mass and your lean mass, minus like the body fat. And that will tell you like how muscular you actually are for your size. Because some people don't necessarily realize, because if they've got like high body fat, then they don't know like what their lean mass would be like under all that. There's some guys out there, they have quite a lot of fat on them, but it's because it's hiding all the muscle that they have. But they can be quite strong because they've got the size and yeah. Anyway, I hope everyone's well. Why is there nobody talking now? So maybe say hello or something, or I don't know. Be nice if you could just interact or something. Not seen much of the regulars this morning. Have to see how this goes, really, but yeah. Hello, and Danu Lifestyle. How you doing? Good morning to you. How are you today? Welcome in here. If you're new here, please subscribe. I would really appreciate that. Yeah, how are we all doing this morning? I hope you're all well. Thank you for the likes. Much appreciated. So, yeah. Good morning. Where are you from, by the way? But yeah, I don't know. I can be a bit of a dick sometimes, but sometimes I feel like the need to say something if I feel like someone's numbers are a bit off or something. Or can you? Oh yeah, is this your first time in here? If so, make sure you subscribe. That would be really appreciated. I've been watching a lot of like these fitness channels and stuff. Like there's a lot of different people doing like workouts and things like that. I like to kind of do these workouts and stuff myself. It like to keep myself fit. That's what I talk about a lot on here, is about health and fitness and things like that. Becoming your best self, because we've only got one body, we've only got one mind. If we mess it up, then that's tough then, and we can't do anything about that. We can't reverse all the damage that we've done to ourselves, whether it's our minds, our bodies. Like we can only do so much. So it's important that we keep ourselves healthy for the long run, because it's like people doing all this stuff, these substances and things like that, and they might be like, oh yeah, I'm having such a good time, but then what about when you get to 40, 50 years old, 60 years old, whatever, and beyond? Are you going to be saying the same thing then, Oh, I don't care, like just, it's this sort of short-term mentality that people have that is what's killing people and making people sick. So it's important that we keep in mind that we're not invincible, and that we don't want to be getting to a point where we're sick and we become unable to do the things that we would want to do. whatever we do now, the discipline that we have right now, is going to pay dividends later on in life. And that's what I promote on here, is about delaying gratification and focusing on your health as being the number one priority. You know, that's what I'd say anyway. Just focus on your physical and your mental health as your number one priority, because otherwise, you just, otherwise you're going to get yourself sick, and do you really want that? And if you're ever thinking about having children, grandchildren, whatever, and then what about if, say, you're getting older and then you're sick and then you can't really be there for your family and whatever, that wouldn't be a good position to be in, would it? So it's not just about doing it for yourself as well. Hello, Carol, how you doing? Hope you're well. So it's not just about doing it for yourself, but also about if you've got other people that, might depend on you, and, you become like, unhealthy and whatever, then it's like, are you really kind of, it's not good, is it? Yeah, it's just, yeah. Anyway, so yeah, I hope everyone's having a good day today. So get this shared out if you can. If you have any questions you want to put in the chat, then yeah, let me know. Just thank you for the 3 likes, everyone. So yeah, I don't know if is Endino still there. Carl, are you still there? Yeah, a bit slow in here this morning, but it is what it is. What are your thoughts, guys, on me doing some like kind of affiliate links and stuff like that? I was thinking a while ago about doing stuff like that. Say, for example, if people wanted to buy creatine and supplements and things like that, then would people be up for that? And, to buy it from me, not from me directly, but as in if I promoted, say, like a company that I thought was good or whatever, and then I could get some like commission from that or something. Because I was thinking about, like, in the long term, like what I could do with the channel, and is that something that people would be up for? Like, because I'm like, looking at, say, monetization and stuff like that, really. So it's just anyway, just tap up your screens, everybody. Like the live. You got to do double tap. Yeah. I don't know, people. Let's see how this goes, really, but doesn't seem to be much going on at the moment. So yeah, what we're doing today, people, is everybody okay? Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, 3 likes, everybody. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Is everyone okay? Thank you for the 4 likes, everybody. Come on, somebody say something. I mean, I don't know. That's what it is. Yeah. Is no one gonna like say hello or something like that? I don't know. Just Okay. I don't know. Where are all the regulars at? I guess they're like busy with something else. I don't know. All right. I don't think I should restart it though, but I don't know. I don't know what else to do really. Maybe I might have to restart the live or something. Because it's just dead in here. Yeah, it's friggin' dead, isn't it? Yeah. I'll be back in a sec.